सईद आपा ने एक शेर से ख़त्म किया। मैं फैज़ साहब का एक शेर से शुरू करता हूँ कि गड़ी हैं कितनी सलीबें मेरे दरीचे में, हर एक अपने मसीहा के खून का रंग लिए। ये अदीब भाई, मैं इजाज़त चाहूँगा कि मैं अंग्रेज़ी में बोल सकूँ, और उसकी वजह है कि यहाँ टेलीविज़न वाले बहुत हैं और आपके शहर में बहुत सफ़ीर हैं, बहुत एम्बेसीज़ हैं, तो उनको शायद तर्जुमे में मुश्किल होती है, और अगर ये बात हमारी उन तक पहुँचे तो अंग्रेज़ी में ज़्यादा आसानी से पहुँचेगी। So with your permission, I'd like to speak in English in the hope that some of the embassies get to hear our voice. I stand here today with my head bowed, ashamed. I'm ashamed at living in this world. I'm ashamed when I look at the powers of the world who have crossed all limits of humanity. I stand ashamed at humanity itself, which has forgotten the meaning of humanity. The attack on Iraq and Iran has blown to smithereens many concepts of political thought and political science that have existed in this world. Number one, there is nothing known as the Islamic world. Our Arab friends have proven that the concept of pan-Islamism does not exist. It is the Arab world. It is not the Islamic world. They have driven the deepest shaft in our hands for a few dollars that they get. And what will they get? What security will the Americans provide them? At the cost of what? The cost of humanity? At the cost of lives of children who are dying? Let us not just forget the 125 or 160 girls who died, but the hundreds and hundreds of children who have died in Palestine over 2 years without water. We remember Karbala, Saida Appa. There was a Karbala every day in Palestine for 2 years, and this world kept quiet. And there will be a Karbala repeated in Iran every day of the next few months or years that this war lasts. Because what the mistake that has been made by our friends in America and the satanic forces in Israel is that they forget the concept of sacrifice, the concept of bearing pain that the Iranians have. The Iranians, 7,000-year-old civilization, have known the force of pain. And let me tell you a small story. When Alexander the Great came to Persia, and Persia was the greatest empire of the world in those days, he was so impressed by the culture that he decided to stay back. It was only much later that he decided to move on to India, and when he came to Persia and he stayed there, the Queen Mother, the mother of Darius, treated him like a son. And Alexander wished that he could, as a great Greek, the great Greek culture could be even seminal part of the great Persian culture. You want to destroy that. And the world sits quiet. So I stand here ashamed at what's happening in my own country. I stand here ashamed, as people have said, that we are scared to sign a condolence book. I remember I was still in office in those days when there was a blast in France, in Paris. And I, in office, and several ministers of the Indian government went to the French embassy to sign the condolence message. There was just one blast. Here there is a blast every minute of the day, if not every second. There are bombs in thousands. You cannot imagine how a child can sleep in Tehran or Isfahan. It's impossible to even conceptualize what is happening in Iran or, of course, what has happened in Palestine. What is the mental state of the people living there? And therefore I stand ashamed at the behavior of all the Arab nations that stand as their neighbors without batting an eyelid and conniving with powers in the West. I stand ashamed today that the world doesn't have a Gandhi. I stand ashamed today that there is no Mandela to speak for anyone. I stand ashamed that there is no Martin Luther King to speak. Who will speak for these people? It is not India. It cannot be any other nation that stands with this place. The Chinese are playing their own games, perhaps Russia at some point of time. But you have left a very major nation of the world, a major civilization of the world to prove its bravery. Sheer bravery every day in the face of barbaric onslaught that nobody speaks of. We watch television news all the time. The less we speak of the Indian media, the better. I think we are all proud of what the YouTubers do. But the less we speak of the Indian media, and the less we speak of the CNNs and the BBCs and the Al Jazeeras who have sold their conscience for 30 pieces of silver, there is no voice to speak of the Iranians. So will the world stay silent? Will nobody rise up? Will thousands of our young people and old people and politicians and members of parliament not come out in the streets and protest? Is it not time? I think that meetings like this should help and raise the conscience of people around us. People like Swamiji, people like Siddhartha, people like Salman here should really go out and raise the conscience of people, what Salim Saab has said, and raise the conscience of my brothers and sisters in India, the Sikhs, the Muslims, the Hindus, the Parsis, to come out and speak with courage, to write with courage, write in newspapers, speak, go to seminars, hold conferences, and raise the conscience of this world, raise the conscience of Americans. I see very few people doing it. So Adib Bhai, I am extremely grateful that you gave me this opportunity to come here today, and I'm grateful to all of you who have the time to spend and think of a people who are under a grave, grave onslaught. Thank you very much. Thank you.